In this video, we will examine two very important documents that may be required if you're planning to get married abroad: a single status affidavit and a no record of marriage certificate. If you're planning to get married abroad, you might be surprised to learn that many foreign governments require evidence that you are not already married in your country of residence. The problem is that the United States of America, unlike most other countries, does not have a federal database for marriages that occur or do not occur in the country. Some countries therefore require U.S. residents seeking to marry a resident of that country to provide an affidavit in which the U.S. resident swears that he or she is not currently married. This affidavit must generally be signed in the presence of a notary. If the country is a signatory of the Apostille Convention, an apostille must be issued for that affidavit. If the country is not a signatory of the Apostille Convention, the affidavit must undergo a chain legalization process in which authentication certificates would have to be obtained from both the state and federal government before the country's respective embassy or consulate issues a legalization stamp or certificate. In most cases, the duly legalized affidavit must also be translated into the country's official language. In other countries, an official certificate issued by the government is required. Depending on the state, you would need to obtain this record from either the state or the county. For example, in the states of Florida, Virginia, and New Jersey, you would need to retrieve a so-called no record of marriage certificate from these states' health departments. On the other hand, in California, Arizona, and Minnesota, these records can only be retrieved from your county of residence. New York City administers its own marriage record system separate from the state. Different states and localities have different names for such a certificate. In Florida, it is known as a single status statement. In Virginia, it is called a single status letter. Alabama calls it a failure to find marriage record certificate. New York City refers to no record of marriage certificates issued specifically for use abroad as a certificate of non-impediment. The fee for this certificate varies quite considerably. Some states, such as Florida for example, charge per number of years searched. So if you need to cover, say, 1995 to 2022, the fee would be higher than if you only needed to search just a couple of years, like 2020 to 2022. Most countries generally require the search to cover all years since you turned 18, or all the years after your divorce if you had been married before. In some states, such as Alabama and New York, there is a pretty complicated system for calculating the fee, as it is calculated in increments of 10 years. And while some states and localities have a pretty straightforward application process, others have very little information available on how to get a no record of marriage certificate, and often require certain pieces of information to be printed in the cover letter you send them. In addition, some states, such as Connecticut, only provide this service to current residents. Once you do obtain your no record of marriage certificate, you would need to authenticate, legalize, and possibly translate it into the official language of the destination country. As you can see, getting a single status affidavit or no record of marriage certificate can be quite daunting for many, as it involves multiple steps and you would need to deal with different local, state, and in some cases federal and consular government agencies, many of which do not provide clear instructions and are hard to communicate with. A&M Logos International has been assisting its customers with preparing single status affidavits and retrieving no record of marriage certificates from all 50 states. We have been in business for over 30 years and are experts in the field of international document preparation, retrieval, and legalization. We take care of the entire process from A to Z, so you don't have to worry about anything getting in the way of you being able to marry the love of your life. Call us today at 212-233-7061 or email us at info@apostille.us for a free consultation on getting a single status affidavit or no record of marriage certificate.